monstrosity, just a ghoulish family. We wanna meet you, possibly eat you, live in the monster lab.
What's up? We got the Thunderman's Season 3, Episode 23, Happy Halloween, the Halloween Special. Or, technically in production code, this is Season 4, Episode 5. But because this episode aired in, technically, I guess, according to IMDb, aired in 2016, this episode is a Season 3 episode because Season 4 didn't air until 2017. And since they don't mention anything of the events of Season 4 in this episode is technically a Season 3 episode. So, yeah, even though it's Season 4 Episode 5 and Milo Clark gets the starring title after the credits, which she gets in Season 4, but this is technically a Season 3 episode. But anyway, this episode starts off with it's Halloween at a Thunder House. Nora is dressed up as a tooth, and Billy is dressed up as toothpaste. Okay. Their costumes in the Haunted Thunderman were better than this. In that crossover Halloween special, Billy was dressed up as a race car driver, and Nora was a sushi. Why did they decide to dress up as tooth and toothpaste? Why? That is the most boring thing to dress up as. Yeah, Chloe dressed up as an angel, I guess. I don't know, they don't say it, but Chloe is an angel on the show, and she's an angel in real life. Or not in real life, she's an angel in... says it's time for trick-or-treating. Nora says she knows this tooth wants to chew on some candy. Barb says they can't leave Phoebe and Max. They can't leave Phoebe and Max. They need them for their dental-themed costume. But Chloe's an angel. What do you mean dental? Chloe is obviously dressed up as an angel. That is not dental themed. Did the writers not see that they had the actress dress up like an angel when they wrote that? Because literally, if she looks like an angel to me, and I don't say she is one, but she looks like an angel to me. So why did Barb say they need Phoebe and Max to dress so they can be dental themed when Chloe's not even dental themed? Billy says dental themed. He thought it was Zit cream. Billy, I don't know what to say. How could you not realize you were toothpaste, bro? You would have obviously either seen the costume you were wearing, or Nora would have told you. But no, he just thinks he's Zit cream. Nora says, it says toothpaste, and Billy says, sure it does, Nora. Okay. Hank asks Phoebe and Max why aren't they wearing their costumes, and Max says if Hank could see themselves, he wouldn't ask that question. Phoebe says, plus, they're going to a party with their friends at the pumpkin patch. Barb says, but trick-or-treating is a Thunderman family tradition. Max says, yeah, but so is him and Phoebe ditching them. I love Max. Hank says, not this year. He's putting his foot down. Nora says, Hank, bro, let them go. It's more candy for them. Hank says, foot's back up. See ya. And Phoebe says, it's thundering outside. Phoebe says, oh no, a storm. Barb says, sorry, it doesn't sound safe. Billy says, speak for himself. Speak for himself, slowpoke. He's faster than lightning. Then Billy speeds out. Only to speed back in to be struck by lightning. Billy said, only to get struck by lightning and speed back by saying, nope, Lightning's faster. Nora says, man, Billy, they need need that candy. Okay, so Nora was willing to kill Billy. To kill Billy, just to get candy. Wow. Maybe I was wrong about Nora. Maybe I was wrong with Nora. Maybe she hasn't changed it, except for she doesn't laser Billy anymore. All the time. Maybe that's the only thing I got. Hank says, no one's going trick-or-treating. They're going to make popcorn and watch a scary movie. Barb says, oh no, looks like the storm knocked out the power. Chloe says, Halloween is ruined. Wow. God, this match has made me feel, I love Chloe. I want to see Chloe hurt. Then the power turns back on. And Colosso says, or has it just begun? Colosso comes out of a crypt as the lights turn back on, saying, welcome to the scariest night of their lives, boys and ghouls. Baby says, what and why is this happening? Colosso says, he knew a storm was coming, so he prepared a night of scary stories. And if it's candy thereafter, he's got plenty of chocolate. It's scary time with Colosso. Let's go. They're gonna pee their dumb pants. Phoebe says, this is lame, and they're leaving. And Colosso says, what? And Colosso says, wait. Oh no, cause they're scared. And Phoebe says, yeah, no, Colosso, they're superheroes. There's no story that you could tell that would frighten them. Colosso says, challenge accepted. And Nora says, no one challenged you. And Colosso says, I said challenge accepted. Max says, fine, they'll stay, only because the lightning's bad for his hair. Colosso says, now prepare yourself for the scare-raising tale of the troll in the bowl. Bat effect flies by as we start story 1. Yeah, this episode's chopped up into 3 different stories that have nothing to do with each other, but technically 3 different stories. We got story 1, the troll in the bowl. We start off as we see Nora screaming. Billy speeds in, asking what it is. Says, did she walk on Hank using the bathroom? He did one. And Nora says, no. Well, nothing is worse than that. But look at their Halloween candy is gone. Barb says, relax. They got their candy right here. Nora says, come to Mama. And that's so weird for me to say. But Hank says, not so fast. They haven't heard of the troll in the bowl. Nora says, the what in the where? Yeah, they do this hand gesture every time they do it. Every time he said it. Barb says, if you eat more than one piece. Yeah, every time a word One Piece is sing, the We Are song just comes into my head, and I have to say One Piece. One Piece! One piece of candy a day. Hank says, a mean, ugly troll. Okay, Hank, you don't have to call the troll mean, ugly. That just hurts the troll's feelings. We'll come out of the bowl and get them. Don't eat too much candy. Nora says, I guess our parents have spoken. I guess they should listen to them. Billy says, why is she taking the candy? And Nora says, just grab his bucket as they leave. Then a hand comes out of the bowl. Billy says, can Nora believe Hank and Barb thought they could trick them? Nora says, yeah, like there's such thing as a troll in the bowl. Billy says, Billy sees something run by, and Nora says he thinks he just saw something. Nora says, it's called coconut. Eat around it. Then something says, just one piece. Says, just one piece. Billy says, you just hear that? Nora says, just hang. Okay, he caught them. He doesn't tell. If he doesn't tell Barb, they'll let him have all their candy. Then the troll says, just one piece. Then Nora pushes Billy out of the way, which is like, girl, come on. He's your bro. You don't push your bro out of the way. Pushes Billy out of the way, and Billy speeds inside. Billy says, why did Nora knock him over? And Nora says, one of them had to live to tell the story. So Nora just thought, oh hey, troll, eat Billy. Because, why? I guess because Billy's not smart. Nora says, maybe if they don't eat any more candy, if you don't eat more candy, then they'll be safe. Nora says, then Nora sees Billy eating candy and asking what he's doing. Billy says, sorry, turns out he really likes coconut. Nora says, Billy, and Billy says, no, the troll can get inside. Then the troll says, just one piece. Billy says, he got inside, and they run away. Nora says, let's go hide in the bathroom. Hank says, he's in there, and Billy and Nora scream. Then they trip, and the troll says, keep saying, just one piece. Just one piece. Just one piece. It's all he says. Then Billy just cut to Billy and Nora being candy bars about to be eaten by Hank. And the story ends. Wow, that was a dark ending. Hank eats his children. Colosso says, they lived happily ever after, except for the kids who were eaten by Hank, bones and all. Phoebe says, Colosso, that story's not going to scare anyone, right, guy? Then we see Billy and Nora running upstairs, and Colosso says, 2 down, saying, 2 down. Looks like he's winning the challenge. Nora says, Phoebe says, again, nobody challenged him. And Colosso says, he said he's winning. After the opening, which, once we get to season 4, the opening gets... Once we actually get to season 4, the opening of the show gets really treaded down to, like, this section. It goes from... the scene goes for a long time until they play the opening. That we'll see that happen in season 4. But anyway, after the opening, Colosso says, now scared were we? Max says, well, he was trying to frighten them with his stories, but what was really frightening are stupid jokes. Colosso says, that reminds him, he was about to serve them some fettuccine alfredo with some extra scream sauce. Phoebe said, get to the next story, and Colosso says, fine, this one is about a family known as the Monstermans. Yeah, and we got a whole Monstermans intro, which is kind of cool. That literally you get the main intro, except for it's changed from the main show to feature the Monstermans. And this story starts out with Witch Phoebe practicing spells while Werewolf Max is eating where he howls. Witch Phoebe says, quiet Max, it's just pizza. She'll put on her human disguise. And Werewolf Max says, just open the door. Halloween is the one day a year they can actually be their true monster self. Witch Phoebe says, for someone who chases fire trucks, he's got a good point. Werewolf Max said, I'm gonna be referring to them by their monster names instead of their actual names I put on the script. Because the fact is, I only get the Monstermans versions confused with the actual versions of the characters. Witch Phoebe says, for a person who chases fire trucks, he has a good point. And Werewolf Max says, he's going to get him one of these days. Witch Phoebe says, she'll enjoy the pizza in her Halloween costume. She's not a real witch. Bye. Wow, that worked. Mummy Nora says they should go to Splatburger's Halloween party as themselves. Fly Billy, which he's a human fly, I don't know what to call him, says, great idea, no one will know they're really monsters, and if they do, they can eat them. Frankenstein Hank says, they're not eating anyone. They're not eating anyone because they're not going. Bride of Frankenstein Barb, which is kind of funny, says, they know it's been hard since the Monster League moved them to Humanville, which is kind of just funny. Instead of the Hero League, you have the Monster League. Instead of Hiddenville, you have Humanville. What about What about the Villain League? What are they called? The Anti-Monster League? That'd be funny. But they have to be careful not going out without disguises. Which Phoebe says they won't discover their family secret. Werewolf Max says, or use Nora as toilet paper. Bride Frankenstein Barb says, sorry, they can't trust Chloe and her zombie appetite. Hank says, yeah. Hank says, Lil, she ate the whole half of the original cast of Hamilton. And zombie Chloe says, brains. Okay, yeah, just saying, zombie Chloe is probably the best. Which Phoebe says they could get zombie Chloe a babysitter. Barb says, okay, I'm just gonna call her Bride Barb. Bride Barb says, because then Bride of Frankenstein Barb says that they could find someone without any brains. Cut to Cherry. Okay, that's funny. Cut to Monsterman's version of Cherry drinking a smoothie while accepting the job. Which is kind of funny. That Cherry technically doesn't have any brains because she's dumb. Which is kind of funny that Cherry is featured in this. They really like Cherry because she's featured in this story, and then the actual Cherry is featured in the next story. Even though they're not the actual Cherry, but still. She and Chloe are gonna have much fun. Zombie Chloe says, how could you leave me home, you monsters? Barb said, Bride Frankenstein Barb says Cherry knows the rules. Cherry says if something about using the bathroom, but then Phoebe says no about Chloe, and she says if Chloe's out of sight, things are not alright. Max says that's good with him, let's go, and they leave. Cherry asks Zombie Chloe what they can do first. Then Cherry gets a brain feud, and Zombie Chloe says Cherry has a brain, and Cherry's like, yeah, why? And she's like, oh, nothing. Just asking for a friend. See, even in the special, even in a different universe, Chloe is still the best character on this show. Meanwhile, at Splatburger, Hank says, remember, no howling, no spellcasting, no bug stuff, and no growling. Mrs. Wong, who, I love Mrs. Wong, and I'm surprised that, even the Monsterman's version, Mrs. Wong is the owner of Splatburger. Mrs. Wong says, happy Halloween, losers, which I don't think I don't think we've seen Mrs. Wong say the word losers since season 1. Wow. Max says, why isn't Mrs. Wong wearing a costume? Mrs. Wong says, she is. She's dressed as an overworked restaurateur. Oh my. It's just going to get so. I still can't believe I'm able to do the Mrs. Wong voice, but I just don't want to be attacked for doing the voice. Because people can find me offensive for doing this Mrs. Wong voice, but it's just a character. It has nothing against actual Asian people. It's just a character's voice that I'm somehow able to master. Who knows there's something weird about them? Phoebe says she's not a real witch, and Barb says Phoebe says she's not a real witch, and Bride Frankenstein Barb says, I know it's a hard name to say, but I can't just call her Barb, says what she meant to say was that they're all wearing costumes. Mrs. Wong says, why does Billy look like an actual bug? And Billy says, if he were, would he be able to resist flying in that lighter, that warm, beautiful, let him out of it, let him out of it. And Hank said, let him out of it. And Hank says, all family is weird. Mrs. Wong says, all your family is weird. "Oh, your family is weird," and she's watching them. Barb says, "Maybe this wasn't a good idea." Max says, "Don't worry, act natural. They'll be fine." Then Max sees a girl he sees a girl in a moon costume. A girl's moon costume in hell. Phoebe says, "Down," and down, Max. And Phoebe says, and Nora says, "Wong saw that." And Max says, "One more slip up and they're leaving." And Max is going to the kennel. Then a guy in a skunk suit calls Phoebe broccoli, which Phoebe turns him into broccoli. Mrs. Wong says, "She was right. They are real monsters. Get them!" And they pull out pitchforks. Barb says, "Where do they even get those?" And Mrs. Wong says, Bed, bath, and pitchforks." Max says he'll win them over with their dance. So they literally just rip off Thriller by Michael Jackson. Mrs. Wong is like me and saying, "Yeah, I'm not falling for that." And just we're not falling for that, bro. And Billy says, "Oh no, they're doomed." Chloe says, "Leave her family alone." Mrs. Wong says, "She's not scared of a little monster. What's Chloe gonna do?" Chloe says, "Eat your brains, baby." I guess that's a ding. And she runs after, says, "Eat your brains, baby." Again, ding. And runs after Mrs. Wong. And the story ends with them saying, "Oh, I guess they'll have to move again." Chloe said, in real time, the actual Chloe says, she doesn't want to be a scary monster. And Barb says, "Oh, there's nothing to be scared of. Now let's go upstairs and lock her door." And that's all we get of Chloe. What? This is meant to be a season where Chloe got up to main character. So the fact is that this is all we see of her for the rest of the episode shows season 3. And this is season 3, but this is meant to be a season 4 episode. But so Chloe's meant to have more screen time. But since it's technically, hopefully when we get to an actual season 4 episode, Chloe will get more to do. Because she's up to main character. She's up to starring role next season. Yeah, Barb says, "Let's go lock her door." And Barb and Chloe are now gone from the episode. Max says he can't believe that scared them. Like a big bunny. I can't believe that scared them. Zombies are as real as Colosso's hair extension. Phoebe says she knew it. And Hank says, "Colosso must feel like a big bunny scaring a poor little girl." Colosso says, "Is he talking about him or Chloe?" And Hank says, "Is he talking about Chloe or himself?" And Hank says, "Yeah, he's not scared. He's Thunderman." Then he gets scared by a toy spider and says, "Thunderman away!" and flies upstairs. And that's the last we see of Hank. Colosso says, "Looks like someone booked a flight for the American Scare Line, which means Phoebe and Max are the last two standing. He saves the scary story for them. It's time for the last story. They're gonna scream like little babies." Max says, Why didn't they take their chances for the lightning?" Phoebe says, "Colosso's never gonna scare them." Max says, "Yeah, this is gonna last longer than he's hungry." Colosso says, "Survive the last story and he'll make Max chicken tenders that are terrifying." They're terrifying. Anywho, the last show is called Phoebe the Vampire Slayer. And since I reviewed like half of season 1 and 2 of Buffy, I know what I'm talking about. I should really get back to that show. Max In story 3, Phoebe the Vampire Slayer, Phoebe tells Cherry to hurry up. They're running late. Cherry says, for school? And Phoebe says, yeah, no. For their morning selfie. Max walks by and Phoebe says Max ruined their selfie. And Max hisses at them for some reason. Phoebe's like, did Max just hiss at them? And Cherry's like, yeah, that was weird. And has he stopped wearing his retainer? Because his teeth look all jacked up. Phoebe says, Max is acting strange lately. He sleeps all day, stays up all night, even started a blood drive at school. Cherry says, Max doing all charity, he maybe is turning into a nice person. And it's meant to be season 4. So, people who watch this would already know the season 4 storyline. So yeah, this has to be a season 3 episode that they, for some reason, put into season 4. Because they would have obviously referenced the events of season 4. Phoebe said, yeah, or a vampire. Says, or a vampire. They laugh, but Phoebe then realizes and checks the photo they took. Vampires don't show up in the photo. And they see that Max is not there. Meaning that Max is not there. Meaning that he had no reflection. And Cherry says, she's sure that there's a perfect explanation for this. Cut to Max sleeping upside down, and Phoebe says, the explanation is that Max is a vampire. Let's get out of here quietly. And Cherry's like, okay, sleep tight, Max. Max wakes up and says, what are they doing in his lair? Phoebe says, they were going to see if he was a vampire. And he is. Please don't bite them. Max says, what? Him a vampire? Oh. Him a vampire? Cherry says Max was hanging upside down. And Max says, maybe they were hanging upside down. Ever think of that? And Cherry says, no, she didn't. Phoebe, are they the vampires? And Cherry's like, and Phoebe's like, Cherry, Max is lying through his fangs. He's the vampire. Cherry says, girl, let's talk this over breakfast. By the way, there's a breakfast. Cherry and Phoebe run away. Cherry tells Phoebe Max is coming, but Max gets burned by sun. He's a stupid sun. Phoebe's like, oh right, vampires burned by sunlight. Except for Twilight. Though those vampires shimmer. Yeah, and speaking of Twilight, why does Max looks like a parody of Edward from Twilight? And if he is a parody of Edward, then why doesn't he shimmer? He gets burned by the sun. He should be shimmering like Edward. Oh, Edward. You should be shimmering, bro. You shouldn't be burned. Cherry says they should get to school. Phoebe's like, right. No, wait, she forgot her homework. Max says, you mean this homework? Phoebe says, stay strong, Phoebe's just homework. Max says, he's writing a fart joke in your history essay. Phoebe's like, it's just homework. Phoebe says, she stayed up all night writing that essay about the founding fathers. Max says, she means the founding farters. Phoebe says, no. And Cherry says, you're gone. Your homework's gone, Phoebe. It's gone. And they run to Hiddenville High. At Hiddenville High, they walk in and be like, okay, now Max can't catch them now. But Cherry's like, Phoebe, I don't think Max is the only vampire. Showing that in the entire school, students are now vampires. Phoebe says, how did they get up? They can't go in daylight. How did they get here? Umbrellas? They're smart and stylish. Cherry says she's wanting to be a vampire, and Phoebe says, let's hide in the bathroom. But Hank is in there. And it feels like they just reused it feels like they just reused audio from the Troll and the Ball story. But this time, because look, now the show's reusing audio. Phoebe says they don't know how to defeat them. Remember their favorite book? Cherry says, "The fault in our neck scars, which have seen Dimitri until the day she dies, which might be today." He says, "In the book, they used garlic to turn the head vampire back to human. Then all the other vampires turn back too." Cherry says, "Dimitri's so cute," and he says, "Focus." And Cherry says, "Max organized the blood drive, so he must be the leader. But where are they going to get garlic?" Phoebe says, Look, it's Italian Tuesday in the cafeteria. She'll go load up." Cherry says, "She'll stay here and pretend like she doesn't have a neck." Cherry says, "No neck, Cherry. Nothing to buy here." And Phoebe says, "She better hurry." Max says, "Hey, Cherry." And Phoebe says, Cherry says, "How did Max get here without an umbrella?" And Max says, "Some black." Did he tell her about the blood drive? Because she's about to donate. And Phoebe says, "Hey, Count Dorkula, how's he like some garlic?" And Max says, "Wait, it's an Italian Tuesday? Did no one bite the lunch lady?" And Phoebe says, "Bite it." And Max says, "Uses Cherry as a shield." And Cherry says, "Phoebe, she's not the vampire." And Max says, "She's about to be," and turns Cherry into a vampire. Somehow, as soon as Cherry gets turned into a vampire, she magically gets shades out of the blue. They magically grow on her, despite the fact that she didn't have them before. So I guess in this story, if you become a vampire, you will magically get cool-looking shades. Cherry says, "Join them," and Max says, she'll turn Cherry back after she deals with Max. Max says Cherry is one of them now, and Phoebe unleashes her garlic bread sword. Max fights Phoebe with his umbrella, and Phoebe kicks Max down the stairs. Then Max kicks Phoebe's breadstick and is like, "What are you going to do now without your breadsticks and without your garlic?" And then Phoebe kicks a garlic into Max's mouth, turning him human again. Max says, "Huh, he's human? He really liked the sunglasses and vampire teeth." And Phoebe's like, he turned human. Shouldn't all the rest of the vampires turn human?" Max is like, "Bro, he's not the head vampire." And Phoebe's like, "Who is?" Then Colosso randomly turns around saying, "He is." Then he bites Phoebe. And Phoebe screams, and that's where the story ends. We don't know if Phoebe turned into a vampire by the end. We'll never know. But, yeah. Phoebe's back in the story. Actual Phoebe said, so as he told them he'd scare them. Phoebe says, "Oh, the only thing that's scary is the bunny spinner in her neck." Max says, "And why was Hank in the school bathroom?" And Colosso says, "Because it was a horror story." And Max says, "Sorry, Colosso." He'll lose his. Colosso says, "Let him try again. Here's one more thing that will definitely scare them. Him without his fur extensions." They scream, running away. Then Colosso says, he looks like he scared a family of superheroes. Then he gets locked in his coffin. Then it just zooms up to say Happy Halloween to end the episode. Okay, that was season 3 / technically 4, but more 3. Since they didn't mention anything what happens in season 4 in this episode, it's technically a season 3 episode. So yeah. This definitely felt like a season 3 episode. Chloe, even though Chloe was given the starring role like she does in season 4, she didn't show up at all. She had like a few minutes of screen time, and then she ran away, and then didn't show up again. This episode was okay. It kind of felt like they reused audio. I think my favorite story from the episode is obviously Troll in the Bowl, just because of how much I like saying just one piece. And the fact is that Nora and Billy got eaten by their dad, which is kind of messed up. But, yeah. So next time we're back to regular episodes with Stealing Home. Yeah. A plot is about Max stealing Max and stealing the family's furniture and them having to get back. Well, the B plot is about Mrs. Wong holding a competition that Barb, Billy, Nora enter while Chloe goes crazy being by herself in a restaurant. Well, and goes and orders a bunch of stuff at Splatburger. But at least you get to see more Mrs. Wong. And that's what I care. Mrs. Wong was fun. Mrs. Wong is always funny. But anyway, yeah. That's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for more Thundermans. And also, apparently the new Thundermans show, the Thunderman spinoff, is filming in Canada. According to Kira Cosworth on her Instagram Live, the new Thunderman show will be filming in Canada instead of LA. Canada home proud. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for more Thundermans. We're almost done the season. We only have episodes 23/24, 25, 24, and 25. We only have 3 more episodes left. Yeah, we only have like 23, 24, and 25. I think we have like 3 more episodes left. But anyway, yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time when we review more Thundermans. I've been kind of busy, so I haven't been able to get out my Thundermans videos as much as I used to. But I'm still going to review the show. Anyway, I'll see you next time.